We have Josh Blackman, guys. He's on the phone with us, a law professor. He's helped us. He's walked us through this before. Josh, first of all, I want your initial assessment. A Hawaiian judge granting this temporary restraining order. Did you think that this was a bulletproof revision to the executive order?
I think the Hawaii District Court's decision is severely flawed because it assumes that because of statements that President Trump has made over the past number of years, that this policy is forever tainted. And that's simply not what the case law says. The fact of the matter is we have a situation where the president had one order, the court invalidated it, and then we have the second order that tried to remedy it. What the court's basically saying is that nothing Trump could ever do can remove this taint, and that's simply not what the case law provides.
Josh, I'm going to read to you from the judge, Derek Watson, what he said. The key statement from him is enforcement of these provisions in all places, including the United States, at all United States borders and ports of entry, and then the issuance of visas is prohibited pending further orders from this court. So you are surprised that this was the decision? And so we're back to where we were before, the speculation on what happens now. Where does the White House go with this? If they can't use the court system as it's set up, do they dare go to the Supreme Court with the current balance?
The government's in a tough spot right now, but they're prepared for it. They are, as we speak, I have no doubt they're planning an appeal to the Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. That's the same court that ruled for the challengers a few weeks ago. After that, they may decide to go to the Supreme Court again. I can tell you the judge in Seattle a few minutes ago ruled that this order was different than the first order. So I think there's a pretty credible case that they get the injunction stayed by the Supreme Court. But this is not unexpected. There was a fairly good chance at least one court would rule against them. There were 3 courts today that were considering this exact same issue.
I did not hear that from anyone that they thought that perhaps that this would be the outcome, again, because they had gone through this and they saw where all of the issues were, anything that could be even remotely problematic, and it felt like they addressed all of them here. I want to bring back Shaw Galani because Shaw, there's an economic aspect to this as well. And some of that was actually argued, I think, in some of these cases. I know they were all sort of slightly different. What do you make of this with respect to the economy? I mean, do you think this will impact Wall Street at all tomorrow?
I think it will. Simply what it does is politicizes judgeships around the United States. I mean, the judiciary should be separate in the United States, and it's empowered to be separate. But the politicization of judges around this country has been, the pendulum has swung too far. And what this is going to do is going to give the Democrats further power to push back against everything the Republicans are going to do, including the president's agenda on tax reform, on stimulus, on everything that he's pushing. Thanks. It just empowers them.
All right, guys, once again, I want to read to the audience what the judge had to say. Judge Derek Watson, in Hawaii, enforcement of these provisions in all places, including the United States, at all U.S. borders and port of entry, and in the issuance of visas is prohibited, pending further orders from this court. We're going to leave it there.